Let's go ahead and run this one back. We're going to be going over your guys' top 10 favorite fragrance flankers ever released. Yeah, I took to the community tab to ask you guys just what you think some of the best flankers are. We all know now that flankers are kind of just the thing that people are interested in. You kind of have to be, because if you're interested in fragrances, you're going to have to accept the fact that flankers are all the rage, because that's really all we're getting. We'll get a new fragrance line thrown to us every now and then, but for the most part, we're getting flanker after flanker. I don't think that's always a bad thing. I've talked about flankers on the channel a lot. I think a lot of these are really, really good, and the list you guys came up with here is top tier. Like, this is a very, very solid lineup. And I'll go as far as to say that if you're a newcomer to the fragrance community and you're looking to pick up some scents for men, choose any out of this list, multiples out of this list. This is the best place to start if you're a beginner, and it's also a great place to continue to add to your collection, even if you already have a base a collection built up. Now, I will drop links to all of these down below. Now, one thing I do want to clear really quickly, as you'll see in a second, a couple discontinued fragrances were voted in. You guys know my typical rule that I follow on discontinued fragrances, but this isn't my video. This is your video. So don't get mad at me that you can't buy a couple of these and write out your little hate comments, type in 10 words a minute. No, this is on you guys here. Okay, let's get this one started with Prada L'Homme Intense. Yeah, right out of the gate. Got a lot of upvotes though, and it was actually commented a couple times as well. Of course, it's got iris, it's got tonka bean, and the addition of leather to make the Prada L'Homme DNA a bit more masculine, more mysterious, and just more rich. Even has a little bit of a creamy depth to it as well, which I always find to be very pleasant when you smell this one. I won't spend too much time on this one for obvious reasons, but I will say this: if this ever does pop up and you're able to buy it, do so without thinking twice. And you best believe if I see it pop up, that post is going to be on my community tab. That's why you need to get subscribed. I've helped so many people secure bottles of Prada L'Homme Intense. It's insane, along with so many other hard to find fragrances and or just fragrances that were for a steal, a really good deal. So find yourself over there. This one you can fully buy. It's in production, hopefully always will be, but you never know for sure. It's the one Eau de Parfum. Also couldn't agree more. The Eau de Parfum is the one to get over the Eau de Toilette. It just is. It's better. It's stronger, but not necessarily in like a performance way, because neither of them perform that good. Stronger just in terms of its scent profile. It's richer, it's darker. It's just, you know, even more refined. It's even better. If you think the one EDT is good and you haven't smelled the one EDP, then you are missing out big time. Again, this is the one to have. It's got tobacco, it's got amber, has a nice bit of grapefruit up top, giving it a little bit of a fresh opening, but it's all about that tobacco and amber. It's delicious, it's smooth, it's sexy. One of the best date fragrances for men ever created. And this is one that I like to wear in the evenings a lot. You know, I kind of spray it on as I'm winding down a few hours before bedtime. It's just super comforting, it's relaxing, it just makes me feel fantastic. You know, just, I don't know, there's something about this one that I love wearing in the evenings. I don't have to be out and about. I can just be kicking it at home, and I can spray this one on in the evening, and I feel amazing. Awesome stuff. Now, up next we have 1 Million Lucky. So this one is technically discontinued, however, you can still buy it. And so this, therefore, was not the other discontinued one that I was alluding to in the beginning of the video. Stay tuned for that. Still available everywhere for now, at least at the time of you watching this. You can still get this one most places for a discount. Depending on where you're at, usually it's going to be $86 for 100 mil, 111, 113, upwards of 117 for 200 mil, which is still the better deal price per mil wise. I'll link it down below to where you can get it. 200 mil, 111, somewhere around in that range. Great price per mil. I mean, literally, you're getting so much extra fragrance for an absurdly low price there in addition. Now this one has plum, it's got hazelnut, it has honey, it has, was it ozonic notes, aldehydes, something along those lines. So it is this very unique balance of sweetness and freshness. I love that in fragrances. those seem to work the best in terms of mass appeal. And there's no doubt about this one being a huge compliment getter. It's also a really good performer. 8+ hours is no stretch for this one. So it's one where you really don't have to worry about it all that much. It is an eau de toilette, so, you know, pretty basic concentration, but it gets the job done and it works every single time. Sad to see this one go, but we can't be too sad just yet because you could still get it easily. Make sure you do so. I completely agree with this choice, by the way. Awesome stuff. At number 7, Armani code ABSOLU. So I was getting a little bit nervous when putting this video together because it didn't show up right away. Basically how the commenting thing works, I'm sure most of you figured this out, but generally the comments with the most upvotes are going to be at the top. Now, sometimes you may see where like a comment with 17 votes is right here, and then a comment with 20 votes is underneath it. And you're probably wondering, okay, how does this happen? Obviously, the 20 should be above that in that order, right? But YouTube also factors in the dislike. So even though when you hit the dislike button on a comment, even though it doesn't take a like away, it does count towards that and it will rank the comment. So if you've ever seen a comment on just YouTube that maybe has 10 likes or so, but is pushed all the way to the very bottom of the page, maybe as a controversial comment, that's because it got significantly more dislikes than likes. And so it ranked it all the way at the bottom, even though there are comments with no likes that are above it, if that makes sense. That's how that works. To get off that tangent and get back to the video though, I was a little bit nervous because this one wasn't as high up as I thought it was going to be. Also, it's not really winter time, so I think people are going to be mostly leaning towards the freshies here, and that's kind of the trend when you get towards the top of the list. Although, I am still glad to see it. It's got tonka bean, suede, vanilla. It is so smooth and sexy and sweet. One of the best flankers out of the entire line. I'm glad it found its way in. Number 6, kind of following that warm theme, we have Spice Bomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. Tobacco, vanilla, black pepper. All of those fantastic notes come together to create a scent that is just out of this world. I can briefly smell it from the atomizer, which is crazy and rare. Usually I don't like these type of bottles without a cap because a lot of times you really can't smell the scent, right? The cap oftentimes will hold in enough to where you can just pull the cap off and smell it. But burying my nose up to it, I can smell it. And this hasn't been sprayed since wintertime, so that's pretty admirable. This is one of the tobacco fragrances that I think every guy should own. If you are into the note of tobacco, you should have this. And if you're looking to get into that note and start exploring some tobacco fragrances, you should have this, and maybe even potentially start with this one because it's a really nice entry-level tobacco because it uses a lot of vanilla to balance it and black pepper to give it a little bit of a spicy kick when you first spray it on. Amazing stuff. Preaching to the choir here, as is with most of these, but you guys know it, and you guys voted it in. You guys know what's up. Breaking into the top 5, this one did not take long to shoot up to this ranking here, which again is impressive. I mean, this literally came out this year. And out of everything that we're talking about out of this entire video, now that I look, this is the newest one, and it's SAUVAGE ELIXIR. So yeah, I mean, it did not take long at all for this one to rise to the top, or at least it's getting there. It's getting close. I mean, this one's really doing well. It's got sandalwood, licorice, lavender. Look, I've said this so many times, but I feel like I have to say it. It's SAUVAGE for people who don't like SAUVAGE. And I'm going to leave it at that. Get your nose on this one. Sample it if you can, if you want to. Look, I mean, we're talking about a 60 ml bottle, I believe. I always can never remember, and I can't see it either. The lights are just too bright. But I believe it's 60 mil or something. And $140 or $150, somewhere around in there. Basically, it's expensive, especially price per mil wise. Not cheap. So maybe sample it first, but I do encourage you to get your nose on it somehow, because again, even if you hate SAUVAGE, it's the bane of your existence, you might actually like ELIXIR a lot. If you want something mature, go for this. At number 4, another one that I'm just super happy about. I love it. It's Acqua di Gio Profumo. It's got C notes, patchouli, and incense. Yeah, I mean, I just wore this one the other day, and every time I wear it, I'm just happy that I did. There's been fragrances that I've sprayed on, and then I'm like, why did I wear this? I'm like, I should have worn something else. I've never had that experience with Profumo. Every time I wear it, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm digging this. I feel good. I smell good. It's just a scent that works so well with me. It's a flanker that is downright amazing. It's Acqua di Gio, but with a smoky and mysterious twist, you know, and kind of an evening time twist. Great for a summer night on the beach, out to dinner, something along those lines. This one here is incredible stuff, especially now. Now we're in July, you know, summer is, I mean, really now at this point, summer is getting closer to being over. It's depressing, but that's the truth. Now every day that goes by is actually getting shorter. Crazy how quick this all went. So we're getting into those late summer nights where you're just having fun, trying to soak it all in. This is the fragrance to pair that with. You'll make some of the best memories of your lifetime wearing this scent. It's downright an amazing flanker. Okay, at number 3, we have that other discontinued fragrance that shocked me that it voted so high. I was not even expecting to see this one. I honestly kind of forgot about it because I can't feature it in videos anymore, clearly, except for something like this. And so, I don't know, I just wasn't expecting to see it, but it reared its head, and it actually made me a little bit depressed because it's sad that this is discontinued. It's BLEU Electrique, La Nuit de l'Homme. At number 3, I mean, you guys voted the crap out of this one, and I do think it was also commented maybe a couple times, so that counts towards the votes as well. Yeah, La Nuit de l'Homme DNA, the old versions, vintage, kind of brought back to life, but also with a modern twist ever so slightly. This one was very controversial because you'll have a select few out there who see this one get hyped up. They're kind of watching it in the sidelines, and then they step out and make a statement saying that this is the exact same as La Nuit de l'Homme, like the exact same. They literally took La Nuit de l'Homme and then just put it in here, and now this is it, and you shouldn't buy it. That's falsified. I mean, I have so much experience with the La Nuit de l'Homme, not only new batches, but I have first launch year 4-digit batch code batches, like the OGs where it all started, fresh out of the factory when it was getting hyped up by Jeremy Fragrance, that type of La Nuit de l'Homme. I have some. I've smelled it. I've worn that formulation a lot. I've worn other formulations. I love La Nuit de l'Homme. I have for a long time. And so to smell this, and you can pick out the differences. See how the bottle's a little bit blue? Okay, blue gradient. See that? That's because they're kind of giving it a little bit of that amber wood twist, slightly. It's very subtle, it doesn't take over the scent, but slightly. I'm even hesitant to spray this because I don't think I have a backup bottle. Maybe I do, but I don't know if I do or not. Actually, I'm going to look into that. I was late to getting the backup bottles, and I wish I would have gotten one sooner. But anyway, BLEU Electrique, it is truly a great flanker, and well, you just can't get it anymore. That sucks. Okay, at number 2, we kind of have a tie. This one is Bleu de Chanel Parfum, and the tie is the Eau de Parfum. So the commenter, you know, put both in. I just grabbed the Parfum because this is my personal favorite, although a lot of people still prefer the EDP, which is a great choice. And I do think from the most practical standpoint possible, the Eau de Parfum is probably the best. You know, I'm fully transparent on this channel. I try not to let my personal opinions always interfere with what I'm saying. I try to be objective. I try to keep my opinion out of my recommendations for you guys when at all possible, right? And in that situation, I think the Eau de Parfum is probably just the most well-rounded because it's the EDT DNA, but just a little bit richer and better performing. The Parfum goes a little bit further to the point where some people may not agree with it fully. Still very much Bleu de Chanel, but it kind of takes a different road. You just smell it for yourself and make up your mind, but the Parfum is my pick. A lot of people, the EDP. The point is, no matter which version you go with, they both, in my opinion, probably are just better than the EDT these days. Just because of performance issues, right? None of them have ever been beast mode, but the EDT is going to be the weakest of them all. And I don't know, if you can get a flanker and like it, then I would just get the flanker. Really, a lot of time, these flankers are just more advanced and just more well thought out than the originals. I mean, think about it. After releasing an original fragrance, a lot of these brands and a lot of these lines have literally had years to come up with a new version that is new and improved. And so in this instance, I think the EDP and the Parfum is the way to go. And last up for this video, we've got DIOR Homme Intense at number freaking one. DIOR Homme Intense. This is going to make a lot of people happy, including myself. I remember placing this one in here after looking through everything, and I'm like, oh yeah, this commenter here knows what's up. And I think he even said, like, it's not even a question. Like, is it even a question? DIOR Homme Intense. And dude, I don't think it is a question. I think this is just one of the best flankers we've ever gotten out of men's perfumery. I really do. Of course, it's got iris, has ambrette, which is like a muskmallow, lavender. It's silky, smooth, chocolatey, sweet, almost gourmand, addicting, sexy. You can almost just take a bite out of it. It's just so good to the point where you almost get enraged. Like, it's just, I don't know, there's just something special about it. And there's really no other way to describe it. I could sit here and try to break this one down in the best possible way, and that still isn't going to do the scent justice. You're still best off just smelling it, whether it be from sampling it, whether it be from going to a department store and smelling it there, or just blind buying a bottle. The point is, if you have any sort of remote interest in fragrances, you gotta at least know what this smells like. This stuff here, this is the GOAT. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. Or actually, it's gonna do it for you. You guys chose some of your favorite best flankers for men ever released. And I think you guys collectively did an amazing job of compiling a list of the best flankers out there on the market. All of these here have made their mark in one way or another, and it's really cool to see all these come together. Links to these will be down below. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.